Hello, DM Dan from the future here. So, it turns out that for about half an hour we weren't actually broadcasting Flo's audio.
Sorry, Flo.
We've done our best to recreate exactly what she said, using intricate lip reading techniques. We're pretty confident that it's accurate enough that it would be almost as if you were in the room with us when we were recording. So, with that said, enjoy! Good morning, everybody! Hello!
Good morning, DM Dan.
Hello.
How are you all doing?
I am tired.
Yes.
Yeah.
An ungodly hour.
We are responsible adults, so yes, we should 100% still be in bed. But no, I appreciate all of your beautiful faces for being here for what is a very, very good reason, actually. Yes, we are here to help as part of Gaming for Good in support of End Youth Homelessness and 1625 people down here in the southwest. We're gonna play some games and we're gonna make some money and we're gonna help homeless youths because they, it's a good thing to do and we need to help where we can. So we're there are. Okay. So there are actually four of us. We're just having a few technical difficulties, so we'll just get that amended in a moment. But whilst that's happening, hello, my name is Dean Dan. I am the I subject people to horrendous and or funny things over on the Explorers of Elsewhere channel, which is a weekly tabletop RPG channel over on YouTube. We've been going for quite a while. We've played quite a lot of Dungeons and Dragons as well as loads of other RPGs. So if you like the kind of stuff that we're doing here, then by all means, go check us out over on the channel. But certainly not before finishing watching this whole day's worth of streams and donating all the money to charity. So let's introduce the players that are going to be playing today. First off, hello, Carl.
Hi, I am well. How are you, Dan?
I'm good. I'm a bit snuffly. I am a certified snuffleupagus, but
That's all right. I'll just make your voice sexier.
Oh yes, musky. Yes, we have Carl. Hello. We also have. Let's go anti-clockwise. No, clockwise even. Hello, Flo.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us. You're a new face to the Explorers, so I really appreciate you jumping in. Yes, are you looking forward to what is to come?
Yes, I can't wait to get to grips with a sexy hunk.
Oh yes. So carrying around the circle. Hello, Nate. Hi.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm pretty good. We've got cameras sorted out now.
We've got cameras. Yes, we have all of our faces. Hello. And last but not least, hello, Meg.
Hello. Hi,
Hello.
I'm Meg. That's about it.
Just Meg, yeah.
Just Meg.
Cool. So, as Flo has kind of pointed out, we are playing a one-page RPG by the sexy battle wizard himself, Grant Howitt, called Sexy Battle Wizards. I would just kind of jump in and read through the blurb of this incredible one-pager. You are a sexy battle wizard. You are a member of the College Errant, an organization based in a magical flying castle that roves the land looking to avert arcane disasters and fight injustice. You have precisely zero authority to do this. The cops hate you, and you are wanted in several countries for collateral damage caused whilst saving the world. Ergo, you are awesome. So, first things first, we have just we're gonna roll out our wizards to roll out our wizards here live. Hopefully everyone's come prepared with a suitably sexy battle wizard name. But let's start with Nate. So Nate, first off, if I could get you to roll a D6 to find out what makes you so sexy.
Let's take a looky then. I
2.
got a 2.
You have majestic hair / beard / moustache.
Nice. Just what I wanted.
And if I could also get you to roll a 2d10 for your signature weapon.
2d10. Where are you, d10? Let me see if I can find it. That's not a d10. It might be. Let's roll it anyway.
A 10 and a 6. So you have, it's up to you what this ends up looking like, but it's a combination of a Doom cannon.
Nice. It's exactly what it sounds like.
It's exactly what it says on the tin. And last but not least, a D6 for your magical school.
There's a 5.
A 5. So you are schooled in the art of hyperdimensional splendor.
Oh.
Whatever that means.
Hyperdimensional. We will
No,
find
but it
out.
sounds sexy. That's what
Yeah.
it sounds like so.
Amazing. Okay, so just for my reference then, of your majestic hair / beard / moustache, what are you going for?
I think I'm going to go for a moustache.
Moustache. That is the only right answer. Cool. Okay, and your sexy battle wizard name?
Go around the others. I've got to have a think.
Okay, cool. So next round is Meg. Hello, Meg.
Hello. Hello.
Have you got your name?
I have.
Oh.
So today my sexy battle wizard is going to be called Labina Spank.
Labina Spank.
Oh yes.
Okay, so Labina, if I could get you to roll a d6, we'll re-roll duplicates because we're all sexy bat wizards in our own ways.
That is a 2.
A 2. If you could re-roll that, please.
Whoop. 4.
That's a 4. Okay, so Labina comes to the arena with amazing bone structure.
Oh. I mean,
Them cheekbones. Bone structure. Cool. And a 2d10, if you play.
okay. Ooh, which one's the D10? Is that looks D10y? 2d10,
yeah.
yeah?
2d10, correct.
14.
An 8 and a 6. So you are armed with a crystal. Roll another d10.
Ooh. 2.
Crystal blades.
Ooh, crystal blades.
Ooh. And your magic school, please.
Is that another D10? Sorry.
It's d6.
D6. 3.
A 3. You are versed in the secrets of occult shadowmancy. Shadowmancy. Okay. Next up, hello, Flo. Who is your wizard or witch?
I think a lot depends on why my wizard is so sexy.
When you say the why you're so sexy. Okay, yeah. In which case, roll me a d6. A 4. Roll me another d6. 2s and 4s. Okay, 3. You are known for your impeccable, pristine style.
Oh yes, bitch. Check me out. I will make this look good.
Pristine style. We can come back to the name if you need to percolate on that. If I can roll 2d10s, re-rolling some numbers. A 1 and a 6. We don't have re-roll the 6 for you, please. But so far, yeah, and again. There we go. You are armed with a void bow.
Hell yeah.
Void bow. And your school of magic, re-rolling 3s and 5s.
Do I roll a d6?
Correct. Sorry, yeah. A 6. The way of 10,000 mirrors.
Oh.
Hell yeah.
10,000 mirrors. Okay, amazing. And yeah, do you need some time for the name based off the?
I have the best name ever. You ready?
Yeah.
You ready? Magical. Mike.
Magical Mike.
Yeah,
Okay.
bitch.
And last but not least, Mr. Carl. Who is your wizard?
I put a lot of thought into this name. A lot of thought. Chad. Just Chad.
I approve.
I assume capitals with an exclamation mark.
All the way.
Chad. Okay, you are Chad. So Chad, roll me a d6, please, to determine why you're so sexy.
1d6, that is a 2, which I need to re-roll. don't I?
Reroll, yeah, reroll 2, 3, and 4.
Which is a shame, because I think, I got a 2 again. It really wants me to have a majestic
rapid
beard.
fire round.
One more time. A 5, which we've already
Chad.
had.
Chad is bestowed with an ethereal, graceful elegance.
Ethereal, graceful, elegance. I have no idea how to play that because I am not ethereal or graceful.
Elegance. No, but Chad is.
Chad
if you
is.
can roll me 2d10 for your signature weapon.
8 and 8.
8 and 8 is re-roll the first 8.
Sadly, that's a 9.
A 9. You have a rift chain.
Ooh.
A rift.
Kinky. I approve.
Marvelous. We've had roll me a d6 and we'll just d3 it for the last magic score.
1.
Oh, that's easy. You have the law of light.
Law of light.
You are, by the sounds of it, just David Bowie, aren't you? You marvelous.
Chat's been saying that I should have been given the majestic beard.
It's a light speckling of chin fluff. Right. So we now know our wizards. Oh, Nate, have you got a name
Yes.
for us?
I'm going to go with Manuel Supreme.
Manuel Supreme. Okay, so we have Manuel, Labina, Magical Mike, and Chad. So we need to know what's up. But first of all, okay, so we find the four of you stood in the great hall. The sounds of footsteps echoing off the high vaulted ceiling as the four of you have gathered in the college, in the deployment hall of the college errant. Stood before you is a mountain of a man, barrel-chested, hasn't skipped leg day, and luscious shoulder length hair. The face, the head turns to look to you with a smolder, and the man declares, "Yes, it is I, Arcanus Maximus, Mage Cosmic of the College Errant, and I am here to give you a mission to save the world," he says, nodding confidently. "We here at the Sexy Battle Wizards know no failure, and today will not change that. For below, on the world below, they are currently suffering from a... Can I roll with D6? There are reports that rogue automatons built by a sexy wizard are running amok through... Roll another D6. A big palace full of foppish nobles. And it is our duty to go and save those foppish nobles from the rogue automatons. But we must be careful, for stood in our way are a local sexy lord and or lady looking to seize power, as well as a sexy librarian who guards the information we need. Right, okay, that's gonna be so a sexy noble and a sexy librarian in a palace full of foppish nobles. Foppish nobles. Oh, blimey. Okay, and then for my reference, if anyone has access to the rules, don't look this up. Oh boy. Okie dokie. Right, so it's rogue automatons. Amazing. So, the college errant is currently floating over this lavish palace filled with foppish nobles. Do you have any thoughts on the matter before you proceed? Anything that you either really wish you're going to encounter or not? Don't be shy now.
I do hope this library that is inhabited by the very sexy librarian is a library of texts of an erotic nature.
Oh boy. Okay, well, who knows what's going to happen there? Anyone else? Anyone? No?
There just needs to be loads of mirrors so I can have a look at my elegance.
Lots of mirrors. I think Flo can help you out there.
Yeah, bitch.
Sorry, I think Magic Mike, can help you out there with his technique of 10,000 mirrors. But okay. With unless anyone has any other concerns or aspirations or hopes or dreams, we'll take you to the drop room. We'll push you out the window. The deployment window. We'll take you through the deployment window.
It's a window you burst through.
Yes. It's a big old rope for a dramatic exit. So we have our plot, we have our wizards. So for anyone watching in the chat, hello, thank you for joining us. Our battle wizards are about to go into battle sexily. We do have a number of set in-game donations. So if you donate a certain amount, then that will affect the flow of the game. So just to quickly run through those. Anyone who donates £5 will grant the next wizard's roll an additional D6, which makes it easier for them to succeed. A £10 donation will force them to re-roll their next success, whereas £15 will force them to re-roll their next failure. £20 donations reduces all sexy battle wizards' stress by 1, and £40 donation will immediately spawn a new disaster, which will, inevitably change the direction of the narrative. You are all escorted to the deployment window, and with valiant swings on the deployment rope, you smash through the sugar glass windows, because health and safety is still a thing when you're a sexy battle wizard, and you begin plummeting to earth like 4 beautiful comets.
I want to say that I'm actually riding down on my doom cannon. I'm just like straddling.
Okay, amazing. So as you
before we carry on, Dan, we actually have had a donation.
We have had a donation.
Yeah.
Which donation is that?
It's a £5 donation.
£5. Okay, so the first roll of the game, when it matters, will get an additional D6. Thank you very much. So as you descend to earth and the clouds begin to part, you can see the top of this very lavish looking palace below you. It's a big palace, you know, and the college errant has positioned it perfectly that as you plummet down, the four of you bloop, 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 just fall into the swimming pool in the back courtyard with teeny tiny little splops of water, and you all okay, so big it's not a £5, it's a £10 reroll failure and a £15 reroll success. Okay, cool. Thank you very much. So the four of you emerge from the water, and rivulets of swimming pool run down your elegantly carved cheekbones and collarbones, as you emerge out, Casino Royale Daniel Craig style from the swimming pool. In your token in your speedos, but with a flick of your respective wands, you regown yourselves in a suitable sexy battle wizard attire. So you stand in the kind of the swimming pool area. So it's like a big back courtyard. This palace looms in front of you, and you can see that there has already been some battle kind of going on. Some of the windows are broken. You can see smoke coming out of scorch marks on the walls and so on and so forth. And inside you can hear the telltale sound of presumably rogue automatons. And the thought of rogue automatons is one thing, but the thought of rogue automatons released by another sexy wizard, it boils your pristine blood.
I mean, are these automatons
Nobody.
also sexy?
They are also extremely sexy.
Are they robotic sexy Squidwards?
Yes. So as you kind of emerge from the pools and you've regowned yourself, as the camera kind of pans around, let's do a real quick rundown of what you look like now that you're ready for battle. We'll start with Carl. We'll start with Chad. What does Chad look like if you were to elevate a picture?
Again, Chad is ethereal and elegant. I imagine he's pretty much always seems to be like floating. Like he's got long wavy hair. He's just sort of chest is always puffed out, and he just sort of like glides along the floor.
Sure.
Bright crystal blue eyes, and just this look about and this sort of
okay. with light kind of emanating from behind you to silhouette you angelically, I assume.
Yeah. The law of light, Yeah. He has a book on him, and the book just highlights him perfectly. It is literally the law of light.
Amazing. Okay, so next up, Flo, what does Magical Mike look like?
Magical Mike looks like a beautifully made Greek statue come to life. He is the personification of sexy. His chiseled muscles ripple and are covered in a musky-smelling body oil. He wears nothing but a tight pair of hot pants and a little bow tie around his neck. He has a sexy coif of hair in a perfect curl. It's always a perfect little wave and stays in shape even when he flicks his head back. It just goes back to where it should be.
Perfect.
Even when he's just stood there, he's slightly gyrating with his pelvis in a little circle. Oh my god, he's just so dreamy.
Okay.
He has perfectly pedicured feet. In flip-flops. Expensive flip-flops.
Incredible. Okay. Flip-flops which don't make the slappy noise when he walks. That's how incredible he is.
Flip-flops that kiss the ground.
Okay, flip-flops that kiss the ground. Incredible. That is an impeccable and pristine style.
Yeah.
Labina.
Yes. Okay, so Labina, everything accentuates those cut glass cheekbones. She is angular, hourglass. Think 1996 Lara Croft. Everyone remembers 1996 OG Lara Croft with those lovely pert angles in all the right places, very curvy, but because she's got these big old crystal blades which are strapped to her back, her tiny little short shorts and her very bustular tank top are just studded with little crystals. Think Lara Croft at the gala ball.
I know what you're looking for in the library now. You're looking for the nude codes.
Oh God, yes. Okay. Last one, at least. Carl? No, we've done Carl. Manuel.
me.
What does Manuel look like?
I'm thinking sort of a dark olive complexion, like a swimmer's type body, so slightly chiseled, but you know, sort of made for sort of like quick skimming through the water.
Like a
He has a large, sort of large curled moustache that sort of glimmers like a galaxy. And on his back, he's obviously got just this massive doom cannon that looks impossible that he would be able to carry it with his frame, but he's able to carry it.
Okay,
with ease.
Beautiful. Okay, in which case, one thing I forgot to do a little bit earlier. So we now know what you look like. You all have 3 stats in this game. The stats are sexy, battle, and wizard. So you all need to assign 1 to 3. You've got like 1, 2, 3, and you can assign 1 to each stat. So we'll loop back around. Carl, how are you assigning your 1, 2, 3?
I assigned them actually earlier because I was reading the instructions. Sexy is 3.
Sexy 3.
Battle 2.
Yeah.
Wizard 1.
Wizard 1. Okay.
He's not a very good wizard, but he's, you know, good at everything else.
He looks good doing it. Magical Mike, what's his 1, 2, 3?
I've decided that I'm sexy, but not that sexy, so that's going to be a 2. Books are for nerds, so I'm going to put 1 in wizard.
Yeah.
And that means 3 in battle.
Battle 3. Very, very good. Labina, what's her 1, 2, 3?
Battle 3, obviously. But to be honest, that just makes her more sexy. Sexy 2, wizard 1.
Wizard 1. Last one, at least. Manuel, 1, 2, 3.
Unless you want me to go that sort of way, I was gonna go 2, 3, 1. So 2 sexy, 3 battle, and 1 wizard.
Okay. Manuel and Labina, you're evenly matched, equally beautiful, and equally battle. Marvelous. So, in which case, you, like, as you stand there posing for the photo op, you, like, one of the doors to the palace flies open, and a kitchen staffer kind of falls out. Help, he says as he runs out, like, desperately holding on his chef's hat. And upon seeing you, he kind of scoots, like, runs over in your direction, and I have no idea who you are, but you look like you could help, please, he says. And as he stands there, like, he kind of runs, and as he stands, he kind of puts his hands on his hips and kind of tilts his toes up on his right foot to the sky as he kind of poses and smolders at you over his shoulder. We've been attacked by rogue automatons. We need someone to help desperately. We'll do anything, he says. And flicks his hair. Yeah, what do you do?
Well, of course we can help. Look at us. Sort of gesture, you know, to our sexy crew. We are sexy battle wizards. We can, of course, help. Now, where did this problem start? Where did these automatons come from?
It all happened so quickly, he says, flicking his hair a second time. A sexy wizard came in, an occultist librarian. I understand that. Well, the most beautiful sexy wizard, sexy witch I've ever seen, he says. She strode into the main hall, incanted some beautifully sexy spell, and portals began opening, and all of these robots, all these hot robots started pouring through into the halls and chasing people down and blasting them with sexy laser guns. The fact that this sexy battle witch was able to infiltrate our defenses, she must have had some help from the inside. She must have had some support. I suspect that one of our sexy nobles is in league with this witch.
And where are all the sexy nobles now? Have you gathered them together somewhere, or are they just dispersed?
The sexy nobles that last I knew have been moved to the dungeons, and the traitorous sexy noble has ascended to the throne of the palace to assume control of the lands. But this occultist witch, I do not know where she has gone. But whatever she has in mind must be grievous and dangerous indeed.
It is always terrible when one of our own turns against the order. There's nothing sexy about it at all.
The chef looks you fixes you with a piercing stare, his silver eyes gleaming in the morning light. Yes, he says. But
I look at this sexy chef in his piercing eyes. I see my own reflection. Oh my god. I'm beautiful. I say, we will help you out, sexy man, and ask where we need to go. Oh, hey, Dan. Just so you know, this is my best French accent. I'm sorry if it sounds like Microsoft Sam.
I love it. No, don't be
amazing.
sorry. It's amazing.
It's amazing. The chef nods emphatically. If you go through that the door that I just emerged from, you'll soon find your way into the Great Hall, which is where the rogue automatons were first seen. But be careful, for there are lots of them, and they are very rogue.
Like diamonds.
They will glance off of all the oil that we've put on ourselves to highlight our muscles.
You did
bullets
put
just-
a lot of oil on. I did notice this. Just very good.
I have to be highlighted at all angles.
It is perfect.
I shall dazzle them with my crystals, some of my crystal glare.
You are extremely dazzling, says the chef. But now, delay no longer. Go and save us, sexy battle wizards and witch. And yeah, he gestures for you to enter into the big palace full of foppish nobles. As you enter, you enter into the great hall, like through the door into the great hall, just as the chef kind of suggested, and the great hall is a scene of devastation. Like you've never seen such kind of wanton destruction and carnage. One of the chairs has tipped over. Disastrous. And someone hasn't put their knives and forks back on the plate correctly. Shambolic. Like this sexy battle witch, this occultist needs to pay for her crimes. But
they're living in squalor.
But as you kind of survey the devastation, you hear help, help, and this what you can only describe as a princess kind of flounces into the hall. I'm being chased, she says, and flawlessly she trips over the chair that's been tipped over, scoots under the table and bumps into something and is knocked unconscious. As you watch this happen, you look up, and from the doorway that this princess has just run in from, you hear and from it come what appear to be three, I would say tin men, but they're gold. They're cast in gold. And instead of just being a boiler torso, we're talking sculpted chest and abs, soldered on nipples, And they stride in with like laser guns in hand, and we're talking like laser guns with the rings on the barrel, like proper 50s alien style. They've got like get over it cool shades, and the most luscious lips that you've ever seen on a sexy automaton. And they look to you, and then the lead, there's three of them. The lead one, the lips like open up. Sexy battle wizards detected. Commence with desexification, and they lift their laser guns in your direction. Flo, you happen to be the closest. Magical Mike happens to be the closest to the automatons. What does Magical Mike do in this moment? So, if you describe to me what you want to do, we will decide whether it is sexy, battle, or wizard.
First of all, he goes, mad! This is the battle robots! They are too sexy. I do not like them. And so Magical Mike pulls like a dance move, like one arm in the air, flexes the pecs, and then he just adjusts his little bow, and a void shape of a bow tie like comes out, and I would like to try and void blast somehow one of the robots.
Okay. Do you consider that to be a spell thing or a battle thing? I feel like, is it a spell? Are you using magic? I feel like that is a magic attack.
I feel like yeah.
Okay, so in which case, your wizard skill is 1. So
No,
if
it's
you
2.
please,
It's 2.
it's 2. Beg your pardon. Yes, beg your pardon. So it's 2. So if you roll me 2d6, and thanks to our donations, regardless of whether you succeed or fail, you're going to re-roll it. Okay, so these are just standard. This is just standard sexy battle wizard stuff with standard results. So this is difficulty 4. You've rolled a 4, so it means you succeed. Which then means you need to re-roll, because we have to re-roll the next success. So please roll again. The bonus is if you fail.
Nice.
Okay. Aced it.
Yes.
Aced it.
This is perfect.
Okay, so with a wham, and like there's a whip snap sound as you point to the heavens, and yeah, a bow tie shaped rift in time and space flies out, and envelops the first automaton. Just kind of sears a hole through reality where the automaton was stood, and all that's left is a smoking set of sexy automaton boots. And as you slowly raise an eyebrow, in a slight smirk. Next up, who's behind? Labina. The other two automatons turn to look at their compatriot, which has just been disintegrated into or sent to the far realms. What do you do?
Okay, Labina steps forward and unsheaths her big crystal blades, and she looks directly at the closest automaton and says, I'm going to slice through your metallic behind like a knife through the most luxurious of salt-encrusted butter. And then she's going to jump and like try and pirouette through the air and sort of slice the head off of an automaton.
Okay, that sounds very battle. So please roll me 3d6. And this is standard sexy battle wizard stuff. So you need a 4. But if you fail, which you haven't. Okay, so you jump forward, and with a there's a point where like the world stops, everything stops, everything goes silent, and then slowly, with the 2 swipes of your sword, this robot falls apart into like 14 pieces. Just clatters to the ground, cogs and springs kind of screaming across the floor. The third automaton turns and, oh no, it says, as it watches as the second of its companions goes down, and kind of presses a few buttons on a wrist, like a wrist pad. You're not sure what's happening, but as that happens, Nate, what is Manuel doing to this third automaton?
Seeing Magic Mike and, sorry, Meg, what was your character called again?
Labina Spank.
Labina Spank. Seeing them sort of take on the automatons, he's going to sort of do a a sort of back slap sort of hand on Chad and go like, "You've got the rest of this," and he's going to actually go over to the princess and try and resurrect her with a kiss of life.
Oh, dang it.
I love it.
Okay. So Manuel, as you stride to the table, and then effortlessly you just like flip the table across the room. Underneath is this kind of princess who's just kind of like looking up at you. Her eyes are fluttering ever so slightly, so it's clear that she's conscious and just kind of, she's not actually knocked out. She is awake. But what are you doing to this? What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm gonna say like, there's only one way to bring you back to consciousness, and I'm gonna give her the kiss of life, but not actually like, proper CPR. I'm just gonna give her a big snog.
Okay. Okay, that is very sexy. That is a sexy. So can you roll me 2d6, please? Re-rolling a fail. You didn't need it. Okay, so as you drop to one knee, and somewhere a harp begins playing, and you scoop up this this foppish princess, and she, "Oh, my savior," she says as you give her a big life-saving kiss. Her eyes turn into heart shapes, and you stand her up, and she, "Oh, thank you, sexy battle wizard. You've saved me," she says. And Chad, as you watch this beautiful romantic scene, as a singular tear runs elegantly down your cheek, you turn to look to the last automaton.
Chad takes his Law of Light, opens it, and then takes a pose. And as the light shines off his oiled body, the highlights blind the robot, confuse its systems, and cause it to go into shutdown mode.
Okay, so that sounds like a spell. So please, your wizard is 1. So please roll me 1d6.
I was going for sexy, but all right.
That's a spell.
It's a 4.
As a pass. Okay, so as you open your Law of Light book and it radiates the light back at the automaton just kind of freezes for a moment. The shades crack as they fall away, revealing like little uwu eyes. And the lips part as it says, "Cannot contain the sexy," and it fritzes a little, and then like the head explodes, and the automaton collapses to the ground.
This is why I had to stop Twitch streaming.
Okay, so the automatons have been defeated. You all turn to see Manuel just sort of like cradling this foppish princess in like a wedding hold. Actually, because you're sexy battle wizards, I suspect it's almost like holding a baby. But yeah, this princess looks to you and, "Oh, thank you for coming to our aid. It's terrible, I tell you. It's terrible. We should have known. We should have known, but I suppose how could we? That Baron von Dastardly would turn on us. Who would ever? He's the newest foppish noble to the courts, and I suppose you could say that the signs were all there, but we would never have known that Baron von Dastardly would be behind all of this.
Curse you, sudden and inevitable betrayal."
There's no clues to this at all. None.
Yes, we were having second brunch, and Baron von Dastardly just stood up and announced that he was tired of our beauty, tired of our stunning good looks. You see, he's been cursed with but a singular wart right on the end of his nose. And
oh God, no!
And
A fate worse than death.
He declared that if he could not be as beautiful as us, then none of us could be beautiful. And then just like that, the doors to the Great Hall opened, and the most beautiful, sexy battle witch I've ever seen strode in, backed by an army of automatons that it looked like she herself had built. They say her name is Andromedina. Anyway, the automatons, they chased us through the castles, the palace, they rounded us up and placed us in the dungeons, and I believe that Baron von Darsley has gone down there, went down there to gloat, but went to gloat, but has now assumed his role, his position on the throne of this giant palace. I feel that he's the only one who knows where Andromedina has gone to enact her dastardly plan.
Well, we must find him. We must find this Baron von Dastardly, and we must stop him, and we must probably take that awful, ghastly wart off his nose too, because nobody deserves to besmirch their eyes by looking at such horrific disfigurement.
Worse still, he thought it was a pimple and tried popping it, and it's just gone bright red and inflamed, and it was really gross. It was horrible. It was never pop warts.
It sounds like we should just put him out of his misery.
Well, maybe
I'm going to get my doom cannon.
Maybe before the doom cannon, I like this. Maybe we can use our sexy wizardness, less of the battle, to try and get the water off his face, and maybe. Baron
oh no, I think he's far too gone now.
Remember, the greatest story is the way you would take someone normal, take off their glasses, and suddenly they're beautiful.
Yes, we even.
As he opens up the book and there's a copy of like the Princess Diary, which he just.
Magical Mike, are you suggesting that if we remove this horrific disfigurement from his face, that maybe he will turn good and he will become a double agent and he will work for us?
And then maybe he will tell us where this terrible but terribly sexy Andromedina is, and also maybe how to shut down her robots.
I like it.
That sounds like an amazing plan, says the foppish princess. Now go! Time is of the essence, she says, as she reluctantly climbs out of your sexy battle arms, Manuel. And as you place her down, I believe in you, sexy battle wizards and witch. Oh, and she kind of goes in the same way that she entered the room. She kind of runs with a flounce out of the room. As before she leaves, she stops at the door and, oh, by the way, the throne room's that way, she says, as she points, and then kind of carries on running.
Goodbye, my love. Until we meet again.
She'll be back in the next movie with your child. Right, so yeah, what?
That's how wizards reproduce, obviously.
How
The doom cannon was super effective.
So, you, as the four of you begin kind of making your way towards the throne room, there's just more. You pass through this hall, like with a lush purple carpet underfoot, and kind of gold filigree on the ceilings. It's all very lavish and beautiful. But you notice that flanking the carpet, like on either side of you, are just busts of the various foppish nobles that have lived here in the past. But you've noticed that each and every one has had a blob of blue tack stuck onto the nose in what appears to be a kind of a wart-like protrusion. And as you, the crimes against humanity, you think to yourselves as you press on, and you get to the token huge vaulted, like huge archway doors to the throne room. It's got a sign above it that says the throne room, and a fire exit off to the right. But how are you sexily opening the door?
I can deal with this one. He takes off a chain around his neck, and as he slaps his rift chain against the door, it creates a rift that's a straight through doorway through the throne into the throne room.
Okay.
Yes, because sexy people don't open doors for themselves. Of course not.
Can we use your law of light to create wonderful backlighting so we have like silhouettes as the door is open?
Yeah.
Gladly.
So yes, with one hand on your hip, and there's a wah. You whip the train round in circles, and it creates a little Doctor Strange like portal in the door. Just phases through it, and as you like the light emanating from you,
God
the
rays
four-
coming through with
Yeah.
just shadows in the God rays.
Can anyone
Four
produce
silhouettes.
like a fog machine or something like that to sort of go on the bottom so it looks like we're just gliding in?
Or we just naturally smolder, so we have like a smoke machine anyway, just coming off our,
Amazing. So yes, as the four of you stand silhouetted, I'm gonna ask all of you to show me the pose that you're holding in your silhouette as you stand in the portal doorway. What pose are we thinking? Starting with you, Magic Mike.
So hands on hips, hip cocked up to the sides, slight thrust forward in the hips, just a slight one.
Amazing. Manuel, what pose are you pulling?
I'm just kind of like got my leg like balanced on like the side of the door like this. and then just like flexing.
Okay. Carl, what pose is Chad pulling?
he's got the law of light obviously behind them, so he's like literally looking at his hair fluttering through the door as he's there, just chest out, arm back, just again slightly hovering off the ground.
Okay, amazing. And last but not least, Labina, what pose are you pulling?
I think Labina would have her crystal swords like pose, in front of her, as if she's, with a really piercing gaze, like femme fatale, dangerous, but also so beguiling, just ready to slice and dice.
Ooh, beguiling. That's a new word.
So, in which case, as the four of you stand silhouetted in these poses, sat on the throne at the opposite end of the throne room, sits this foppish noble with kind of greasy, shoulder-length black hair, a long goatee with a little kind of gem-encrusted goatee tie, like goatee clasp on it, in black and red foppish noble robes. And he kind of looks up to you. He's sat with his legs crossed, on like leaning over the edge of his throne, holding a goblet shaped like a skull. And he looks to you, and as he turns to you, your eyes are drawn to this honking great wart that's really puffy and inflamed. And he and then drops the goblet, which clatters off down the steps of the throne, down onto the kind of the floor in front of him. And oh no! How could I have ever foreseen the arrival of sexy battle wizards to stop me? He says. Unfortunately for you, I have come prepared, he says. And doors at the sides of the throne room open, and legions of automatons stride out. Andromedina sends her regards, battle wizards and witch, he says. And as that, like a small army of automatons stride out, but then you hear like the floor begins to shake, and through the floor to ceiling glass windows, like stained glass windows flanking the throne, these shadows smash through, and giant, like iron giant sized robots kind of stride in. And as these two hulking behemoths, like metal behemoths, roll in, they stand there, they regard you, and then they flex their mechanical muscles. And Baron von Darsedley, get them, robots, he says as he points in your direction. Chad, what do you do?
Chad, as he sort of glides into the room, he just looks to the robot as it's coming at him, and then he just keeps looking at it, and then he just gives it a wiggle of his eyebrows. as he just purely just pushes sexual energy towards this machine, just like, hey, I'm Chad.
Okay, please roll me a sexy as you try to seduce the group of automatons running towards you.
How's that? Is that 3d6?
You are 3d6, correct, and you get to re-roll if you fail.
That's a 2, 5, and a 3.
You do not. You roll a 5. What? Sorry, the sheer number of them. This is an audacious or risky stuff that has a great impact. But you stand there, and as you kind of disregard them, and then turn to look and like pout your lips, and then like kiss a gun. This group of about 12 automatons just like all their shades crack and their heads start exploding as they keel over. You've wiped out most of them. Next up, Manuel, what do you do?
Seeing what Chat has done, he's just like, now I will show you some guns, and he's just gonna get his dude and just try and blow away with a hyper-dimensional
Amazing
light as many as he
Amazing.
can.
So that is battle. Also, please roll me 3d6.
There you go.
4, 4, and a 5. There we go. We needed the 5. So as you kind of unsheath this unwieldy cannon from your back, and then you roar as you pull the little trigger. What does your doom cannon look like? Like, is it a big laser beam, or is it just like firing abyssal cannonballs? Like, what's going on here?
I like to think it does basically just look like a big, just a big cylinder, just like a big sort of metal glittering cylinder. And when it just fires sort of like a kind of blast of like glittery galaxy, but just like with the ferocity of just like the 10,000 suns, just like.
Okay, so in that case, Chad has just wiped out half of the automatons, and then you, with your doom cannon, you take out the other half. And as you do, and you kind of look to each other with a. From between you, Magical Mike and Labina spring forward as these two kind of flexing behemoths stride forward into battle. And like as you approach, their arms like split apart, so they've got 4 arms each, and they all just start flailing wildly. And you can see like a circular panel on their chest plate illuminates with a big pink heart, which begins beating faster and faster as they kind of get warmed up. Magical Mike, what do you do as you barrel into the barrel towards the first automaton, like the big robot?
Magic Mike runs up, does because for some reason he's a little bit oily because of Chad's oil.
Yeah.
He runs up and does a knee slide on the floor with his glimmering speedos glistening in the light through the smashed windows. And as he arrives underneath the hulking behemoth, he would like to say, "This is no time for magic. This is time for fists!" and punches up into the pulsing heart of the thing. As your art shall be mine.
Okay, that's amazing. So that also sounds like a battle. So please, 3d6. And this is, because of the size of it, this is an audacious or risky stuff. Way, absolutely aced it. So as you slide across the ground, arms out, head back, you then kind of get, as you arrive between the massive robot's legs, you then snap up to full size. You fire off the ground, and with a sound of breaking glass, your fist penetrates through the heart plate on the front, and you emerge. You don't stop. You emerge out the back of it, holding this LCD screen of a heart, which that stops as you crush it in your hand, and like what looks like the components that you've crushed sprinkle across you like glitter.
And I do the whole like thing.
And like as this happens, Baron von Darsley turns and, "Oh no," he says. And Labina, what do you do?
Have we got rid of the last of the automatons now?
No, there is
just...
one hulking
one
behemoth
more?
still heading
Okay.
towards you.
He is mine. So I'm going to channel every anime main character in every Japanese TV program and movie you've ever seen.
Yeah.
And I've got my blades crossed, and I'm looking to the side, and a spotlight falls on my shadowed face.
Yeah.
And I say, "You are no match for my blades or my beauty." And just I run up in a flash, and it's that moment in anime where they're sort of slicing
Movement
and
lines.
slashing, but it's just a complete blur. Bah, 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 bah. And then I sort of, I skid past him and just, sort of look back, hopefully to see his form just slice apart.
Okay, so that sounds very battle. Please roll me 3d6. We still have the reroll failure in the bank.
555.
555. We don't need it. Okay, so as you stand, like there's the flurry of activity, just like a black screen with your crystal blade slashes, and then as the lights come back on, you're just stood in the pose, with your back to the automaton, and then it then starts, like bits of it start falling off, and the other three of you watch as what is left of this iron behemoth is a perfectly sculpted version of Labina Spank, also in the same pose, like ice sculpture styly. But and then eventually like falls into two bits and clangs to the ground. And upon seeing this, Baron von Darcy looks to you and, "Ah, I see my plan has gone disastrously wrong," he says. "Curse the power of sexy battle wizards and witch. But you'll never get what you need from me, not while I still draw breath," he says. And like he gets off his throne and goes to run. What are you all collectively doing?
Which direction is he running? Is he running sort of trying to just go, like past us or something?
Actually, you know what? He has just... So on the throne arm, there's a lion's head, like on the end. So he's just pulled that head back and revealed a big red button. He's pushed it, and the throne has got a little jet thruster in the bottom of it. So he's just like lifted off the ground like Robotnik, and he's kind of like, and he's rotating to go out through the smashed windows that the iron behemoths came in. It's a very slow mechanism.
I have an idea.
Yeah.
That I'd like to try out.
Okay.
So I've got this occult shadowmancy. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And if he's sort of moving towards the up, there should be a massive shadow of him cast across the wall. I'm going to use my occult shadowmancy to see if I can get that profile image of his wart to just blow up like 5 times, 10 times as big, just so it just encompasses his whole face, in the hope that he will see it and be so horrified with the shadow of his own visage that he'll just fall off the chair, He'll fall off the chair, and then we can deal with him.
Okay. Lavina, that is a wizard. It is an audacious or risky stuff that has great impact. So 1d6, you need a 5. We do have the reroll.
Oh, okay. Right, ignore that last roll. That was accidental. Okay, I'm going. 5.
Hey.
Okay, so as he goes to kind of fly away, like twizzling his goatee as he goes, you manipulate his shadows, and then sure enough, so is it the shadow of the wart just gets bigger?
Yeah,
and bigger?
the shadow of the wart just gets bigger and bigger and hairier. Little hairs start sprouting out of it in all directions, or the shadows of little hairs.
Okay, so in which case he kind of as he looks up, as his shadow looms over him, grows larger and larger, and like he realizes what it is, and no, not the wart, no, and like the the intricacies of shadowmancy means that as he acknowledges the shape and size of the shadow, it too then reflects physically. So the wart on his nose begins growing, and he curse you, sexy battle wizards! As the wart gets bigger and bigger, and like the flying throne tips back as he's trapped under the size of his own wart. This isn't the last you've heard of Baron, he says, as the throne engine stops and it just lands on the ground, and all you can see is these two little legs sticking out from this giant, engorged, hairy, and inflamed wart.
As he falls, I just turn to my companions and say, "Get him, boys."
Well, in this instance, are you the other three of you? What fate, what ultimate fate do you want to bestow upon Baron von Dastardly?
We could.
Eh?
I have an idea with this. We could save him. If I create my rift in several spots, we could burn this wart off with your doom cannon. And using your infinite mirrors, I could reflect it multiple times. We could destroy this wart from infinity angles.
So ultimately,
Yes, a sort of infinity makeover.
so ultimately, you're looking to save Baron von Dastardly?
That is my suggestion, whether or not it's
Okay.
what the rest of the group think.
Yeah.
Okay. In which case, through a combination of the Doom Cannon, the 10,000 mirrors from Magical Mike, and Chad, you're using the Law of Light,
The rift chain.
the Rift Chain to squeeze it off.
Although the rift chain to create rifts to bounce into the mirrors that he
Gotcha.
fires the doom cannon in, so one shot becomes like thousands.
Okay,
Yeah.
so between the
I'll
three of
keep
you,
my shadowmancy going, so it's nice and big. You know, it's a big old target. You can't miss it.
so in which case you channel you all strike like a group superhero pose as the camera kind of pans around you dramatically a few times. And between you manage to magically excise this huge wart off the front of Baron von Dastardly's nose. And as the wart kind of burns away, and you take a step forward to look upon the disgraced foppish noble, what you see in front of you is the most beautifully chiseled face you've ever seen. And as Baron von Dastardly sits up and, "My thanks, sexy battle wizard damn witch. You have, in fact, saved me from a fate worse than death." And he bows to you. And he takes all of your hands in turn and gently kisses them.
It is okay. Warts can gain sentience and take over the mind. It is known sexy science.
As this happens, as Baron von Dastardly thanks you, you hear a slow clap from the back of the throne room.
I'm guessing at this point we all just go, "Whoa," and
Yeah.
just like turn around.
And stood in the doorway of the throne room, looking like a goth Jessica Rabbit. One stilettoed leg propped on the head of one of the rogue automatons, holding a very powerful occult book stolen from the libraries of this palace, is the one, the only Andromedina. It would seem that my distraction has worked beautifully. Baron von Dastardly, your services are no longer needed, she says, as she does a little giggle. And I've found the book I require, and she kind of flicks her hand in front of the pages and they just to the right page. I now have the spell that I needed. You can't stop me, sexy battle wizards. Alakazam, she says. And as she says that, the ground beneath your feet begins to shake, and the marble, like the checkerboard marble flooring beneath you, all of the black tiles blow open, and Andromedina titters to herself, and who knew that this absolutely standard big palace full of foppish nobles was actually built on top of a catacomb of an animated terracotta army.
Who could have known?
And from the black checkerstone flooring, out like an army of terracotta soldiers that honor all of the previous sexy battle wizards that this world has known, pull themselves out, and they all just kind of like strike poses in front of you. With this new, why do I need mechanical automatons when I can have the power of those who came before? She says. Get them! She points in your direction as she begins levitating off the ground, and challenges you to the final battle. So, in this instance, let's go with Chad first. Chad, you the betrayal, the horror of seeing Andromedina.
Wizards, I know it's something we're not meant to do, but we need to cross our sexiness together. To create the ultimate sexy form. It's the only way we can beat Andromedina.
I agree.
Yeah?
I agree. It's the only way, Chad. It's the only way.
I've been longing for this day for so long.
But it has never successfully happened before.
No, but
Today it will.
Today we shall show them what true sexiness is.
Oh, true sexiness.
I trust in our sexiness.
Okay. In which case, as the terracotta army of previous sexy battle wizards starts sort of like mincing towards you, the four of you stand and you kind of assume your pose. What is this, like Guardians of the Galaxy? Everyone's holding hands, kind of thing.
How about we combine our weapons and our powers? So if Manuel has this massive cannon, I can use my crystal blades to diffract the beams against Chad's 1,000 mirrors. Oh no, it was Magical Mike. Yes, against Magical Mike's 1,000 mirrors, and then like Chad can use his law of light to blind the terracotta army as we just all come in as one group to just blast.
I imagine we're getting on each other's shoulders in like a sexy totem.
Yes.
Is this like a magical, sexy Power Rangers girl anime transformation?
So,
I like to think like Chad's on the bottom, and then we've got Manuel, and then we've got Mike sort of going into like a pyramid form there, with Labina sort of at the top.
A sexy battle wizard version of the Megazord. Is what's happening. So hang on, who is the legs?
And the terracotta army has to wait until we're finished.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So we've got one of you's the legs, two of you on their shoulders, 1 foot each as the torso and arms, and then one person as the head on top, just like a diamond.
And we can fire them all into the middle, and it creates like like Captain Planet of sexy.
Okay, so the four of you then, like, who's on the bottom? Who's the base?
Who has the best leg day?
The sexy battle wizard Zord.
I got flip flops.
Slap, like kiss, as you slam your feet on the ground. Oh, okay. Who are the arms?
I think I'll be one of the arms.
Yeah, I'll be one of the arms.
Okay, which means Labina, you do a pirouette flip, like a backflip onto the shoulders of Chad and Manuel as you sit on their shoulders, and everyone kind of links in limbs and you become this cohesive, mega sexy battle wizard. And Andromedina, I've not seen that technique for 1,000 years, she says. No matter! And she kind of gestures back towards you. In which case, as the terracottas run towards you, we'll start with Magical Mike as you're the legs. What are you doing as the terracotta army runs towards you? When I say terracotta army, somehow there are like thousands of these sexy battle wizard terracotta soldiers just all crammed into a room. It's just a tide of terracotta. What do you do?
Magical Mike says, admire the supple sorcery of the sexy battle wizards, and like his legs go into the kind of like sumo pose, but somehow it's super sexy sumo pose.
Yeah.
And his muscles ripple as he just like does this, and you're standing on like his whatever this muscle is called, this muscle. And his little void bow ripples and emanates with magical power, and his Diamante speedos glimmer a bit.
Is that are you trying to seduce them, or are you spelling them? Is that
I would like to try and wizard them because my sexy ain't that sexy.
sure? Okay. So in which case, as you achieve a Zen state, the base of the mega sexy battle wizard, and your bow tie begins to glow. Please roll me 2d6. This is a clutch against the odd stuff that can really turn the tide of a situation. So we're going to need 6s. We still have a reroll.
Yes!
Okay, so as you I'm gonna assume so the bow tie, are you zapping them, or are you just kind of ingesting the energy into the mega sexy battle wizard?
Yeah, it starts off the magical girl anime transformation that is the start of this thing. So like the magic ripples, it pulses out and like encompasses us.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So you the four of you become enveloped in this kind of the 10,000 mirrors, the void energy just kind of refracts around you and just kind of builds an armored suit of mirrors about your form, creating this beautiful reflective colossus. So that no matter where you're looking in the room, you can always see you're sexy. And Andromedina, no, she says. So next up, one of the arms will go with Chad. Magical Mike has armored you up. What do you do?
Chad hangs on to oh my god, I forgot your name.
Manuel?
Lavina. No,
Oh,
Lavina. Lavina. He holds onto Lavina, plants his feet on Magical Mike, and leans back with the book in hand, just gracefully falling, his hair tumbling everywhere, opening the book, shining the light on him as the chain starts to quiver and shake, and he just lets off this sound that just echoes across the room. Or you hear it, and just the dust wave goes out from it. So you just
Okay, that sounds very spell. So if I could have 3d6, we need at least a 6 with one reroll.
Well, if it's did you say spell?
That sounds very wizard. Or what were you thinking? Oh, sorry, that sounds very sexy. That was a very sexy thing.
Very sexy. That's better. Oh no, 224.
Okay, we're gonna have to use that reroll.
One reroll. Someone in chat says it may argue it sounded very sexy. Oh no!
No, you can reroll all of them.
Oh, all of them. Okay, so I'll reroll all of them. Hey!
There we go.
Thank you to the person who gave us that reroll.
So, Chad, as you lean back and there's a sonic boom. It kind of rolls through the throne room, and the front kind of half of this 1,000-strong terracotta army are obliterated into dust as they it showers over Andromedina as she shields her face in the face of your forceful sexiness, your concussive sexiness. And as she looks a bit panicked, as her eyes fall to you, Manuel, as the other arm, the one toting the souped-up doom cannon.
On the doom cannon has like a little switch of switches that he puts it on. He's going to switch it from hyper beam, switch it from plastic surgery, and then switch it to dimensional space. And he is going to try and blast pretty much the whole of the terracotta army into a sort of dimensional warp.
Okay, Manuel, that's very battle. So please 3d6. We need a 6. We don't have a reroll though. Oh, we don't need it. Okay, so the terracotta army staggers and stumbles from the concussive blast from Chad, and that gives you just enough time to charge up the doom cannon. You fire this tiny little pulse of energy, which moves into the middle of the terracotta army, and then in this destructive end of the universe style, the moat of unreality explodes open, and all of the remaining terracotta army like sucked into the void and just kind of deposited somewhere else in hyperdimension, just scattered across the stars. As there's a click of some fingers, and the rift kind of vanishes, and behind it you see Andromedina. And no, I have not come this far to fail now, she says. Face me! And she kind of flies towards you on a broomstick made of fire. And as she approaches Labina, what do you do?
Okay, so I am going to again unsheath my crystal blades and give each of them a little kiss. And as I do, they change their form from big Final Fantasy style swords to these lithe, curved, like ninja stars. And I'm going to take them and I'm going to throw like either side of Andromedina, so that they look like they're flying past her, but then, you know, they're gonna sort of like, as they go past, they're gonna cross paths and then come back and like get her in the back.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Okay, that is a 3d6. We need a 6.
Oh no! No!
Okay. So as this happens, so she flies in and ding ding, like parries the two blades away with a battle cauldron, like on a chain. Like smacks them away. And you failed a roll, so it's you gain 1 stress and 1 deterrent. Oh, everyone should be gaining stress a lot during the... Oh well. So you gain a stress. You gain a stress. Yeah, we've got 5 minutes left. You also gain a determination. So if we get back round to you, Meg, you're gonna get +1 dice to your next roll, because you can't, you know, you're a bore failure.
Yeah, I'm gonna say for my stress, just like, you know, I've got this perfectly, like, you know, slicked back, plaited hair, and just one little hair just goes dink up the front. Oh no, well, my perfect hair.
As that happens and you begin to panic, like combined with Andromedina, like she leaps from her flaming fire broom. She whips the cauldron underneath her and lands in it and kind of pulls it up over her knees, and like she tilts backwards and smashes into the 4 of you like a bowling ball hitting Skittles, and the 4 of you are like fall apart, and the spell keeping the mega sexy battle wizard fails as you bam like fall to the floor. She embeds in the wall at the back before kind of emerging. She emerges back from it like a butterfly emerging from a cocoon. And even with your combined power, you cannot stop me, she says. We'll go back to Magical Mike. As you're the first to kind of stand up, what do you do now that you've been separated?
Magical Mike stands up, dusts some of the sexy dust that is now covered in him. I think he's just gonna be like, "Get up before she has a chance to retaliate again," and just is gonna run forward like fist first, until just punch this woman.
So I assume
sexily
like, drop to the ground in a Archimedes thinking man pose, and then like fly out like a missile. Okay, beautiful. Magic Mike, that is very battle. Please roll me 3d6. To defeat. Oh, there it is. Okay, so you fly towards Andromeda. Like you look to one another as you kind of rally yourselves, and then you look to Andromedina, who's sort of like flourishing in her victory pose, and as you fly off the ground and you hit her across the cheek, and she kind of rocks slightly as she's pirouetting. Next up is Chad. She's distracted. What do you do?
Chad's gonna basically, as she's sort of pirouetting and falling, Chad's gonna appear and catch her, and he's gonna be like, "Hey."
Okay, so she's been rocked. So we're gonna. That sounds very sexy. So we're gonna go 3d6. But this is now a 5 to pass.
5, 5, 4.
Oh,
And like as she like a bit of slobber is kind of running down, like her lipstick smudged a bit, but as you hold her and hey, you say to her as you look down, she looks at you for a second, and then her eyes like grow really big and like twinkly, like anime girl style, and then Chad, I never. As she reaches up to your cheek, Manuel, while she's distracted, what do you do?
Well, seeing this, Manuel's going to kind of go, "That's my move," and sort of skim over there as well, and sort of do like a sort of blue steel down at her and kind of go, "Don't you think this violence isn't very sexy?"
Okay, if you're trying to charm her as well, that is also sexy. She's very distracted. We only need 4s.
Oh no!
No.
So as you approach and you kind of go to schmooze, like Chad just pushes you out the way. Last but not least, Lavina, you have 1 determination, so you're able to. What do you do?
okay. So she's
Like,
distracted, and
her resolve is teetering.
where's her occult book?
Oh, it is like off in the corner. She lost it when magical Mike like sucker punched her.
Okay, can I? I'm gonna go for the book and see if destroying the book will destroy her ultimate power.
Sure. Okay, in which case, I mean that's very battle. You have 1 determination, so you get to roll 4d6, and the book is a very inanimate object, so we just need a 4.
Okay, but I want to do it in a really, a sort of gonna hold it up and just like drive my sort of crystal blade through its heart, through its center, as she watches.
Okay. There
2,
we go.
5, 2, 3.
We have a 5, and so with that, like she turns away from Chad and watches as you like skewer this occultist terracotta army summoning spell book, and as the blade emerges from the cover of the book explodes into flames, and like it glows with a golden light before exploding into flames, and it perfectly highlights all of your beautiful features. But as it kind of like puffs into ash, it just kind of blows your hair back. And as you kind of give one final hair swish and then look over at the rest of them, Andromedina like turns, like, is watching, and then turns up to Chad and, "I can't even be angry about that anymore," she says, as she places like strokes your chin tenderly. And with that, she looks to you and, "It is clear I've been a very naughty girl, and I submit myself to the sexy battle wizards in the college errand. Cuff me, Chad," she says.
from the wrist.
And with that, you escort Andromedina back to the college errant. As you kind of levitate off the ground back towards the low-flying floating college, all of the holes that have been punched through the ground by the terracotta army and the automatons, like the structural integrity of this big palace finally gives in, and the palace just falls into a palace-sized pothole in the ground. It causes like just a massive natural disaster, but you care not as you sexily fly away in the college errand. And Arcanus Maximus looks to you, holding a
as we smash into the entrance windows.
And you smash in through the entrance windows, and he stands there with a little sippy cup. And congratulations, sexy battle wizards, sexily done, he says. And with that, we will call it there. Congratulations, everyone.
Well done.
You have saved the day. So, yes, thank you all for watching. We're going to be back soon. We're going to be back in about an hour, and we're going to be playing a game called Supernormal, run by Chris Locke, who's been doing some of the other streams on the channel. Yes, thank you for your donations. Just another quick shout out, if you like what we're doing here, you can find us on the Explorers of Elsewhere channel, where we upload lots of stuff very regularly. Also, if you haven't already, please consider giving some giving donations. You can donate here with the Just Giving link. All of the money is going to End Youth Homelessness and 1625 People, and all the other youth homelessness charities across the UK. It's super important, and in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't actually cost that much to give a homeless youth everything they need to kind of get started and massively change their lives. So yeah, if you've already donated, thank you. If you're considering it, please do. I guess Carl, Nate, Meg, Flo, and you lot in the audience, we'll catch you next time.
Bye.
Bye 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 bye.
See you later. Bye.
Hey.